This is what my daily routine looks like when I'm working remote from New Zealand. And as you can see, it starts very early. If we haven't met yet, then hi, I'm Charlie. I'm a creative director for a remote tech company that's based in the US. Usually I work from my home in Spain, but once a year I travel to New Zealand to spend time in my home country with my family, and I usually end up working remotely for about 3 weeks while I'm here, and I thought I'd bring you through my daily routine so you can see what that looks like. I asked on Instagram if folks had any questions about working remotely from New Zealand, and the number one thing that most people asked about was the time zone. Right now it's like 7:15 on a Wednesday morning for me, but it's still Tuesday for all of the people that I work with. New Zealand is like so far into the future that I actually end up having more overlap with the US time zone when I'm here compared to when I'm in Spain. But it does bring along some challenges because my whole calendar is set up to serve me well for like work-life balance when I'm at home in Spain. Spain is exactly 12 hours difference from New Zealand at this time of year, so that means that my meeting that happened at 6 a.m. this morning would normally happen at 6 p.m. in Spain. And unfortunately for the person who asked me how I find ideal meeting times without being up at 7 a.m, the answer is I don't. I actually get up much earlier than that. I have meetings at 6 or sometimes 5 in the morning while I'm here. That's the earliest that I'll go though. It's not ideal, and I do move any meetings that I can, but the ones that happen still in my calendar at 5 and 6 are like bigger group meetings where it's just not feasible to move that in everyone's calendar just because I am choosing to be in New Zealand. I really appreciate the flexibility of this job and the fact that I can come to New Zealand, spend a bunch of time with my family, and so I am definitely willing to be flexible in order to like take advantage of that opportunity as well. I will answer some more questions from Instagram as we get on with the day, but now I've had 1 cup of coffee to start that morning meeting, and I need to go make another and some breakfast and then get into some work. Someone asked about self-discipline and routine while I'm here, and one thing that I do find harder to fit into my day when I'm working from New Zealand is a workout. When I'm in Spain, I do this in the mornings along with some work on my own business, on my side hustles. Then when I start work, I tend to just like work through the whole work day until the evening. Here, I try and make it a point to stop after my like super early morning meetings to do some movement. Otherwise, I know I'm gonna find it really hard to fit into my day, and honestly, this doesn't happen every day, but it's going to today. I'm gonna finish my toast and go do some Pilates. First though, I just remembered I need to move everything out of my sister's home office so that she can use it herself when she gets back from the daycare drop-off. For Chloe, who asked for tips for designing without my large monitor that I have on my desk at home, check out my workstation tour if you haven't seen that already. I think it'll be up in that corner. But this is my remote work setup. I have this fantastic little stand that folds up, as you saw. I bring along a spare keyboard, a spare trackpad. That puts my screen at a good height to be like slightly more ergonomic while I'm sitting at the dining table because my sister needed her home office back. This is a 13-inch MacBook Air. I filmed an unboxing of this a few months ago, and there just isn't as much screen real estate as on my 27-inch iMac, but all of this setup, having the trackpad separate, having the screen up higher, does help me feel like I can do my work without too much interruption. It honestly doesn't bother me too much though. I think because now that I'm creative director, I do spend less time hands-on in the pixels. I have a lot of meetings, a lot of like writing, strategy stuff that I work on, and a small screen is fine for that. Now though, I'm all set up on the dining table to finish out the rest of my workday, and to get back into things, I'm gonna dive into like 2.5 hours worth of meetings. Well, it's 11 a.m. I've officially finished with my meetings for the day, and I need to take a quick break from my screen now because I feel like my eyes are crying out for it. And then I'm going to order some lunch. Normally I would eat leftovers or like make lunch at home or at my sister's house, but today I feel like ordering in some ramen, so we'll take a look at that. Someone on Instagram asked how this time difference working in New Zealand compared to working in Spain has affected my working hours and how I work. At 11 a.m. I would pretty much only be thinking about starting my work day when I'm home in Spain because I tend to work until like 7 p.m. at night. Here though, I have already had the majority of my my work day by 11 a.m. And I'm just about to start my like focus block of no meetings to like concentrate on the like hands-on work I need to get done today. Normally when I'm in Spain, that happens in the morning, and then I have meetings to end the day in the afternoon, which does suit me better, honestly, but hey, we'll work with what we've got. Let's go take a break and order some food. Oh man, it is 1:30 and I'm feeling pretty exhausted, like I'm fading very fast. So I'm trying to get through the last few things on my to-do list. One is like some admin stuff for performance reviews, and then I do not think I'm gonna get into design time today because yeah, definitely trying to cram that in at the end of the day when I'm already exhausted is not a great time for creativity. I wanted to answer one more question from Instagram, which was about how the time difference and working from here affects my working hours and like the days off that I take. So as you saw, my day started really early, and it'll wrap up fairly soon. I did take breaks throughout the day, but yeah, I'll probably finish at like 2:15-ish today, I think is when it'll be done. There's definitely a benefit to working from this time zone, getting the afternoon off while the sun is still shining and there's time to like go and do things. Like today, my sister and I are gonna go get mani-pedi together, which will be really fun. And as for the days off that I take, I tend to work Monday to Friday, but in New Zealand time zone. So that means I'm working Sunday to Thursday in the US time zone. There has been the odd occasion where I'll hop on a meeting on a Saturday morning my time because it's Friday in the US, but Fridays are largely no meeting days at ConvertKit anyway, so it makes that yeah, that time zone difference work out all right. There's been the odd Monday where I actually worked like half a day Monday because I did half a day Saturday. I don't know, I'm definitely like more flexy with my time while I'm here, but still making sure that I get in enough good work hours. The most confusing part is definitely the fact that I'm a day ahead, you know, being Wednesday today for me, Tuesday for the team. If I'm saying to someone, let's meet on Thursday, I have to think to myself, wait, do I mean my Thursday or their Thursday? And usually I just try and speak in like US time zone to avoid confusion. Anyway, I think I need some extra help focusing for this last hour. So I'm gonna open up the Ambience app and play this coffee shop sound with my headphones on, and I think that'll help. Done. I want to end the day by answering one last question, which was about if I would ever move back to New Zealand permanently. And my answer to that is yes, eventually, but not in the short term. I definitely know that this job that I'm in right now isn't one that I could do from here on a long-term basis. It's hard enough doing it for 3 weeks. All the early meetings and the confusion over time zones. I don't know. I'm grateful for the flexibility, but it's not something that I'd want to do long-term, to be honest. I think maybe if I wasn't a manager, it would be easier because then I would have less meetings to contend with. Also, I have a cat back in Spain, and we don't want to move him overseas. So yeah, while he's around, we'll definitely stay over in Europe. Clearly there's reasons to move back to New Zealand as well though. But I hope you enjoyed seeing this daily routine, seeing how I do handle working for a US company from this time zone at the opposite end of the world. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And if you're curious about what my daily routine looks like when I'm at home in Spain, then I filmed a video about that. You can go and watch that right here. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.